Hello students, we are again here to study the next topic of power system protection, that is unsymmetrical fault calculations. Basically, as we know that there are two type of faults, unsymmetrical and symmetrical, in which symmetrical type of faults is very severe type of faults and it not generally occurs, but unsymmetrical type of faults generally occurs in all type of power systems. So this is very important topic to study. So here in unsymmetrical fault, it rises basically unsymmetrical fault current. Unsymmetrical fault currents means what? It have basically three different magnitude of currents with different phase displacements. But what was in symmetrical? It was equal magnitude of current and same phase displacement. But here in this case it is different. So there are basically three type of unsymmetrical faults, that is single line to ground, then line to line fault, then line to line and ground fault. So basically in unsymmetrical fault analysis we solve the problems of this type of faults with the help of symmetrical component method. This method is very important and we can also calculate our questions with the help of Kirchhoff's law also, but symmetrical component method is very easy to apply and in this calculations are most easier. So this method is discovered by Dr. Fortescue. It was in 1918. Dr. Fortescue showed that any unbalanced system of three-phase currents that may be composed of three separate set of balanced vectors. That means what? This unbalanced current can be composed of three separate set of balanced vectors, जो कि हम आगे पढ़ेंगे. और वो vectors क्या क्या होंगे? That can be positive phase sequence component, negative phase sequence component and zero phase sequence component. Means any unbalanced system that may be voltage or current that can be composed of these three components. In which what is positive phase sequence? In positive phase sequence the phase sequence is basically positive, but in negative phase sequence here phase sequence changes. In zero phase sequence there is no phase difference and all the three magnitudes of currents are equal. So this is the diagram. In first case you can see here this is denoted as IR1, IY1, IB1. 1 means it is positive phase sequence. In this case it is 2 here, then it is showing that it is negative phase sequence, and 0 0 0 that means zero phase sequence. In first case the phase displacement is plus 120 in all the cases, but here in negative phase sequence when IY2 is made here, we can see from here that the phase displacement is here minus 120. That means it is negative phase sequence. Then here in this diagram there is no phase difference, zero phase difference, and all magnitudes are equal. So in line diagram we can represent our line currents as IR equal to IR1 plus IR2 plus IR0. That means the line current in R phase can be divided as some vector sum of positive sequence current, negative sequence current and zero current. Similarly, phase Y and phase B have same type of currents. So here we can see that in all currents there is a 120 degree phase displacement. That's why we defined an operator that will basically displaces that vector by 120 degree. This operator is denoted as A. In some books it is denoted as alpha. So here we are considering it as A. Basically when it is multiplied to a vector, it rotates the vector through 120 degree in anti-clockwise. Let us consider a vector OA, that is vector I. When we multiply this I vector with multiplication factor operator A, we can write it as I angle of 120 degree. So this is basically what it is in polar form. What is polar form? When we write the magnitude and angle of that point simultaneously, then it is called polar form. Then the representation of this polar form in rectangular form. What is rectangular form? Rectangular form have real component and imaginary components also. So for real component, we will write as cos 120 degree plus imaginary component as sine of 120 degree. So this is whole point is called rectangular form of this thing. So cos 120 is minus 0.5 and sine 120 is 0.866. Similarly, when we multiply another operator A with the previously which we calculated, then it will be A square I. By putting all these values, polar form, conversion in rectangular form, we can get it as minus 0.5 minus j 0.866. Then similarly again when we multiply by A in this factor, we can get as I. So here rectangular form will be 1. That means A cube is always 1. So from this calculation we can say that operator A is always equal to minus 0.5 plus j 0.866 and A square is like this. So from here there are two conclusions, that are 1 plus A square is always 0, and when we subtract from A to A square we will get this value, that means j root 3. So these both things are very important and they are always asked in competitive type of exams, in your semester exams also. So study and remember these 2 points. So thank you. We will proceed further in next class.